Welcome to my channel. Thank you for checking the video out. So today I want to showcase a rune word I finally got. It's very unique, right, in that it's not popular. A lot of people, when they think of rune words, they think of Enigma, Hodo, Chains of Honor, you know what I mean, Breath of the Dying, Fortitude, stuff like that. This is a very niche item. It's not for any build, right? There's no build that is super meta that is using this item, but it's super cool. But it requires a few HRs, high runes, so not a lot of people build it, make it, and it's not very popular. But I finally got my hands on one, and let's just check it out. And the rune word is brand. Now the unique thing about brand, the cool thing about brand, is it procs 2 necromancer skills, 100% chance to bone spear, level 18 bone spear, and 35% chance for amp damage. Now those are two very good skills that help mow down monsters, especially amp damage, right? Paladins get amp damage wands, you know what I mean? A lot of characters could really use amp damage, but unfortunately it's on a bow. So I've seen builds where guys will get a bone necromancer, beef up the bone spear and the synergies, and then use this bow. It's very niche. It doesn't really do anything. It's just a fun build to have, right? So if you have a necromancer, your bone spear and synergies will boost up the bone spear that will proc. So that's one thing to keep in consideration. But I'm using this on an Amazon. Now another thing to really think about is your bow's breakpoints. So GMB is typically the most favored base, but it has a higher threshold to hit IAS breakpoints, right? So for a GMB, if your bow has no inherent IAS, right? If your rune word has no inherent IAS, it's 292 IAS to hit the last breakpoint, right? So 147 is second last, 89 is the third last. 89 is the most obtainable, unless you're using like 160 60, 120 45, things like that, right? If you don't have those high-end IES items, 160 60, 120 45, it's going to be hard to hit the breakpoints. So I suggest getting a mat bow. Mat bow, the thresholds for breakpoints are a lot lower, but this is the only one that I can find. I traded for this one. It's the only one I can find. So to mitigate the IAS breakpoints, I kind of like played with the items, but I can only hit the third last breakpoint, which is 89, right? So right now I have 120 IAS, so I only hit the third last breakpoint of 89. I need 27 more IAS to hit the 147 breakpoint. So that's one thing to keep in mind when you're choosing bases. So now let's look at the rune word, right? 100% chance for bone spear upon striking. So every arrow you throw will cast a bone spear when it hits. 35% chance for amp damage. Fires explosive arrows. So when you're using a regular attack, normal attack, it'll be fire arrow, right? If you're using strafe, guided arrow, anything like that, it's just going to be the strafe arrow, guided arrow. But for normal attack, it's going to be a fire explosive arrow, right? It has ED, inherent ED. It has ignore target's defense, 20% bonus to AR, 322 damage to demons. So it has a huge chunk of percent damage to demons, kind of like a Chains of Honor, a laying of hands gloves, stuff like that, right? 20% to deadly strike, prevents monster heal and knockback. So this build has 3 forms of KB, from our KB gloves or IAS KB gloves, and giant skull. The reason I'm using giant skull is I'm trying to hit get as much IAS as I can. So I have 215 IAS jewels in here with a little bit of ED on them, and I'm running the rune word hustle. Hustle is a ladder rune word right now, but you can find a few on non-ladder, but people are asking crazy prices if it's in a good base like this Archon. So we're we're at our 89 IAS breakpoint. That's the third last. And further ado, let's check it out. Right, so let's go to Frigid Highlands. And this is our exploding arrow. Right, so you can see the bone spear proccing. Now this is when the fun starts. When you start doing a fast attack like strafe, you could just see the bone spears proccing everywhere. Right, so let's go down, right, and find that nice little tight mob of baddies. Right, look at the bone spear, just bone spears everywhere. This is so cool. This is such a niche item, but it's so cool. Look at this. Look at the bone spears just proccing everywhere. Such a cool little item. Right, so I finally got my hands on one. Right, it's super high rune cost. It's a jaw, low, mal, gull. Right, so jaw, low, high runes. Gull and mal are mid runes, but still, right, 2 high runes, 2 mid runes. For something that's super niche, not a lot of people would want something like that. But me personally, you know, I have an Enigma, I have a Chains of Honor, I have Hodo, stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, let's go after something niche, you know, and try it out. And this build is super fun. I might in the future get a Necro, Bone Necro, beef him up and try it. But it's not on the horizon, but who knows? Maybe one day I will check that build out. But again, thanks for checking this video out. Let me know if you guys have a brand or if you guys know a build that can benefit from the brand Runeword. But again, thanks for checking my video out. I hope you guys have a good day. I'll catch you on my next video. Bye-bye.